flowing through Fontaine converges here. It's customary.
Lynette!
Lenny asked me to wait here for you, remember?
Right.
What do you mean? There are a lot of people here right now.
Hey, you're not trying to scare Paimon, are you? Besides, it's the middle of the day. It's not the time for eerie things.
I see. I might be able to tell you something that could help explain the voice you heard. In fact, you might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you heard is a result.
It's because of her sensitivity to the—
When do you cry, Paimon?
Wait, what?
Just answer me.
When Paimon's really sad? Oh, and when Paimon's super happy. Oh, and also when Paimon's really, really scared.
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense emotions. Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where all the flowing water in Fontaine converges. Even the tears that fall to the ground will eventually gather here. So maybe what you heard was the intense emotion coming from someone's tears.
So, what did the voice say? If you were hearing their emotions...
Rather than worrying about, don't let that calm...
Oh, right.
No two cases.
Ah, Traveler and Paimon. Good to see you. I knew you two would come.
Are you kidding? We wouldn't miss it for the world. We've been looking forward to it.
I can tell, judging by how early you've arrived. But you're actually right on time. The audience still hasn't started entering the venue yet, which means now is the perfect chance for us to take you to the best seats in the house. Wait just a moment. I'll fetch the tickets. The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved your seats, and here are your tickets.
Ooh, front row seats! Thanks, Lenny!
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep thanking me.
Hey, Lenny! Could you come over here and take a look at this?
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there. That's Cal, my assistant, calling me. I'll go lend him a hand.
Yeah, we'll just go to our seats. You go ahead, Lenny. Hey, Traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to us. Ah, you little... Of course you put this on Paimon.
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I am terribly sorry. I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
Oh, wait, that's not it. Paimon's... Sorry, Paimon's... Oh, Paimon's got it.
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linny would like to be...
Oh, so you're not friends with Linny, then. Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine.
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard, and as required by proper etiquette...
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet, what an honor it is to have you here to...
Ah, Mr. Linny. I should say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance in person.
Wait.
I saw you all chatting just now, but it seems you still don't know who Monsieur Nervillet is. Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and honesty here in Fontaine.
Whoa! Sorry for being so rude just now. Paimon had no idea you were such an important person.
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so I'm not so special, really. And by the way, I should probably let you know, even though I would prefer not to. There's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite a while now. I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first impression. So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later, otherwise she may become flustered.
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied look on her face. Guess she has no idea that you saw right through her act.
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention. We may now enjoy the show.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations, and the performance will start as soon as the audience has made their way to their seats.
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Paimon can hardly wait! Paimon's never seen a real live magic show before! Oh! They're dimming the lights! The show must be starting! Sorry. Paimon will try to stay quiet.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Linny. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's nervous.
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not true magic at all. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today. Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show real magic.
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparations. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected way. I'm sure she'll be stealing the spotlight soon enough. Oh, and before I forget, there's one more thing I should say. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. Huh? But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes. It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
Whoa! What in the world just happened? How did he do that? Hyman didn't see him do anything! Wasn't Lynette inside the water tank? How did she disappear and then reappear out of nowhere?
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally hidden.
Guess you're right. Paimon couldn't believe her eyes when Lynette reappeared. Amazing!
Thank you everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed that performance. But our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared even more astonishing surprises for everyone here. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough, but Lynette is still my assistant after all. In which case, I have ample time to make all necessary preparations. So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of one lucky audience member. Please, if my assistants could bring out the magical boxes now. There are 2 boxes, and only 2 boxes. One is here, and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic trick. A swap! Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box. Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you see here. Don't give me any chance to make a move.
Wow! How's he gonna do this? Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lenny have actual superpowers?
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number selector. It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate. Now then, let's begin. Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to experience magic firsthand for an entire minute. Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the magic box. I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as comfortable as possible. You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may happen, don't come out of the box. If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up? You might even find yourself in the Fortress of Meropide.
Oh, okay.
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Could you all give me a countdown? Like this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. You can go a little faster or slower if you like. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch-black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when time is up. Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh! Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that!
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be trusted. Let's practice together. Come on, repeat after me. 60, 59, 58.
60, 59, 58!
That's right, perfect. Keep it going. All right, I'll see you all on the other side once you've finished counting.
54, 53, 52? Huh? Why aren't you counting, Nervalet?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here as it is. Merely a consequence of my identity and personality. Do not worry about me. Just enjoy the show.
Oh, all right. You look so serious that Paimon thought you might be feeling uncomfortable or something. 40, 39, 38!
Mr. Linney, are you all right in there? Is everything ready?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direction of the magic. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example, mid-air right above the audience.
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all. What was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway, it doesn't seem like anyone's worried about it. 25! 24! 23!
What's wrong, Mr. Linney? I can still hear you moving in there.
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's pitch black in here. I can't tell left from right.
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that. The show is what's important.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be perfect. Don't worry, we still have 20 seconds. Hear them counting?
19! 18! 17!
It seems things aren't quite going as planned. I apologize, everyone. It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know it can be tiring to do such a long countdown. 10 seconds and change is still plenty of time.
10!
Almost there now. Whew. Swapping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Ta-da!
the show? Mr. Lenny, you're going to use magic to fix the stage now, right?
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was still in that box, right?
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of some scheme, then those accountable will not escape the judgment of the God of Justice!
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this soon enough. Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found. It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance. And there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
The serial disappearances case?
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before!
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale. Did he really underestimate us that badly? I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Linny, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh? Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
Oh, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your assistants, is he not? Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation, a bald-faced challenge.
That can't be right! How can Linny do this? He was in the box on the stage the entire time! We can even hear his voice! Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances! He couldn't possibly mean catching himself!
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Linny and his associates, and that you are pressing charges?
I just think that he... Well, I think think it might be a little early to talk about formally pressing charges.
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense. Looks like she's gonna personally deliver justice.
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show. Lady Farina said it all.
I mean, of course, my dear people. But what excites me even more than the obvious truth before our eyes is the opponent I'll be facing. That's right. I mean you, Traveler. You'll support Lenny, won't you? After all, he was the one who helped you the first time we met. Then there's no problem at all. You know, the Traveler and I already had a duel the first time we met. But with Lenny's help, our little duel ended in a draw. But draws really are the most boring possible outcome. So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting showdown and decide—
It wasn't a—
I understand. Charges have... Well, Traveler, seems late. Are you willing to act as Mr. Linny's... Very well. Linny and his... The audience may...
a day isn't...
Lenny!
Sorry about everything that happened.
Of course!
Yeah, I'm a little shaken. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Good to hear. I'm sure everyone— I don't know whether would as for how that— even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate. As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible. Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh? Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
You have good taste, Lynette.
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now. I need to get back to my normal self. But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult for Lynette and I to prove our own innocence. Good thing you agreed to be our attorneys. Thanks for that. We'll be counting on you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, just leave it. Oh, since we're going...
Oh, well.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Linny.
I suppose 'tis true. But if revealing our... we should go somewhere else.
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation team... Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
Ah, I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfect.
Huh?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants, named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with... As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowl inside it. This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and... However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes... All these factors lining up so perfectly make... If anything, the more logical...
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good friends?
Well, you can't say we're good.
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of their hand. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of... Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm warning you for your own good. Anyway, you may investigate the scene.
So this is the rope. The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks? Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler? Whoa. Look! This bit is made from different material! Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left. Huh. So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of material in it, then that means... Wait! Why don't you write all this down? Let's take notes! Whoever the murder... This... Why would it...
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now.
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No? And by the looks of it, you're not from Fontaine.
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president.
Ooh, you're cute.
Those who play by our rules call me boss.
Ooh, love the dress.
Her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melouche. Demoiselles various...
Yeah, I don't care about you. Nabia. Ooh, you look like a hot pirate.
My apologies,
Oh, I love the hair.
Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No need.
I just started like Capitan, something like that.
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rosula anyway.
All merely trifling details. Never mind.
Hey, kitten.
Now, that's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases.
Can you hear me well?
Stems from a matter back from my father's time.
because I know that my PlayStation is doing like a lot of background noise. That's why I don't turn up the mic, but
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition.
Está jugando detective, entonces sacó como cuando fuimos a la biblioteca la madre se compró eso, dice ella, para un momento como este.
Anyway, a trial begins the
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro Archon.
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that, alright, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
Es súper linda.
Wait a minute.
Sí. Rojada. Clásico Paimon.
I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear any pointless questions from me.
Todo que según yo estoy jugando con el pretexto de que yo voy a ayudar a Carlitos, pero en realidad es que... Y como ya llega Master, está como divertido.
And why would that be?
Además que me metí demasiada plata en ese juego para no jugarlo.
See, Silver and Malus? I told you they'd be different.
Qué lindo Kitten, gracias por pasar.
I too think that the traveler's response was most excellent. No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based, in fact, that if that...
Hay mucho hablar, chicos.
Alright, now.
That's more like it.
Far be it, you wish to...
You have a point.
I wish to get out of here. That's what I wish, sir.
You seem like you...
I have nothing to...
Oh, alright.
We'll be making some...
Sí, ya estoy closing up. Estoy ese mierdis. ¿Cómo estoy ese? ¿Porque qué hora es? Ah, son las 6:30. Ya va a salir. Buajajaja. Yo ahorita tendré mi propio horario. Por hecho ahorita va a ser como una semana como de horario de oficina, entonces de todo chill. Ay, ¿dónde quedó eso entonces? Eso no era una pista, qué estupidez. Porque dice que está aquí a los 16.
I see that you're if you find any...
We don't have to... The Thud?
Yes, exactly. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Lenny's trick with Beta... I'm of the opinion when the pirates...
Wait, what?
Perhaps the balance wasn't... Oh, that's true.
I'm not paying attention. Oh. Found a clue. Yay. Ustedes no quieren hablar conmigo, ok. ¿Ustedes? Ok. Pues probablemente esa gente que estaba aquí.
Lenny's still talking to the guard. I think someone... Lenny's still talking to the guard. I think someone will be...
Ellos no quieren hablar conmigo. No. No. Ah, fue que se activó esto porque llegué aquí, pero no llegué a la pista en realidad. Me imagino que está aquí arriba. Supone que hay una como en el stage.
Sorry, but no.
Were you always...
Yes, after... So, the missing girl couldn't... I doubt there...
How can you be so...
Well, I couldn't see... But still, we Melody...
So, it safe to say. Alright, thank you for your help. This'll...
Ok, ok. Falta una que parece que está en el stage. Simplemente yo no la agarré. Because I'm stupid. Ay.
The investigation team has some new findings.
Por agua.
Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after all.
See? Told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about the number selector? There's something wrong with it?
You're trying to help them? That'll be a tall order.
Linny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The lucky girl that later disappeared. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out the seat number pick wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
That much checks out. Linny reserved our seats for us, too.
Let you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
Aquí. Ey, eso no era una pieza.
Whoever the people need... Why would it be? We all... The performance would not...
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, have a look around. In the end, we're both after the truth.
This location has also been cordoned off because the Magic Troupe members are currently considered prime suspects. The investigation team is still collecting evidence. The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list. Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition the public to help us find the missing person. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself. Apparently, she wasn't a regular
¿Me habló?
at her house, but she'd been feeling some pressure in her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show.
Pensé que me estaba
Magic
hablando.
Troupe members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspects. Simply put, she wasn't related to the Magic Troupe at all, which matches the features of the previous serial disappearances.
Were the victims of previous cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other connections between them.
Okay then.
No need to be so formal. If you do have to see, it is of utmost...
We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see see, shall we?
No, yo tengo mis personajes.
Getting interesting, huh? We're about to see how magic is made.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower.
Wow, qué guapa, sí. Me encantan los zapatos. Obsesionado. No me gusta tanto como los timones que tiene como en la cadera. Creo que son como un poco innecesarios, pero... Oh, yo la quiero.
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers? I would be most grateful.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it? Paimon didn't notice anything.
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the first row. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
I knew you'd figure out most of it. Is the 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2 entrances of the tunnel. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever changed.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which the audience member would only be able to...
Right! You were talking that whole time...
Ah, yes. My assistant and I had all...
And what about Lin...
I was in the mezzanine. Oh! That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with...
I mean, we aren't, and that's my...
So that's how it all worked!
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick
to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
What is this place?
It seems someone could...
Alone, perhaps.
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right. Let Paimon write that down.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the... Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Right. And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them? Ugh, this is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore. Whoever the... Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh?
Perhaps it was a prop for...
Whatever it...
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would there be water here?
Oh, I know! One of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip the jug over only for the water to disappear? And here's a broken vase. Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes.
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. Seems to me that there are several things that don't add up here.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement. The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
So the tunnel's become like a secret chamber then! You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
Plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite inexplicable.
No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements from both sides. That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the Oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. Not that this has ever happened anyway.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the Oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? Paimon thought Neuvillette called the shots.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment, which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice. Ah, yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
Huh? Why?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa, whoa! There's no need for that! Paimon thinks they have a point. That said, are they providing food?
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all. Just kidding! Just kidding! Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
Hmm? What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Huh? Here? But how?
Understood, Demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the Demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it.
These three are quite the interest. And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven. Oh, it's even better now. From the way you had these two guys carrying all that, you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself.
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Paimon was just thinking. Aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty, beating egg whites and baking like this?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack. Anyway, give these a try, fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite. Strong black tea with a... No need for concern.
All right, then. Down to business. However, the magician twins...
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was what?
The flower vase resulting in the perhaps the crypt...
Paimon thinks that makes...
True, but...
Huh. Could Halsey have secret...
That's right. And even if she had tampered with... Nor does she have...
From the sound of things, your macarons are...
They are...
What? Fun?
Please don't worry about it. At my...
No, besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough. Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach!
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal. Maloose, set up the stove again, if you would.
Huh? What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, Demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Well...
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look. I don't know what we're... It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
All right. Thanks for your help. And for the snacks.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Maloose, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
Alright, it's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial. Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult case. There's no point in worrying about that now. We just need to prepare. Here, take Paimon's notes. They should help you review the situation.
Activities.
Is so confusing. Good plan.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and... Besides...
Thanks, Navia.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No, no. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Now, don't you all look disappointed? That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order...
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. You ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands.
Yes, that...
In that case,
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact,
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were...
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
No wonder they did something like...
So the serial disappearances were the Fatsuans doing. Now it all makes...
I've got a feeling that what happened...
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything. Your first priority is to prove... The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the...
Hey, Linny! What did...
Order! Order! First, when the thought are these claims... Please answer my...
I'm sorry. Yes, they're
I knew it!
Well, that's it.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary?
The defendant is...
Order! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn.
So, in that case...
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad!
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Vatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to. Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Well, you both say that, but... Right, let's hear your answer first, and no lies now!
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, which should have been impossible, of course, I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But, like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense. Huh? Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
Ugh, that took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective. countdown began. When the flatbed trolley passed, he did not realize. Finally, he used the at this time. So Linny afterward. And there you have it.
Does the defendant's side have any objection?
Key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. What Linny experienced and what he saw. According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. Linny did not take part in the... Linny went to the room that contains...
Attention! When the countdown started, but he immediately, once he reached the crime scene, finally, he
You believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, assuming that...
Oh, well, your denial is there. You're saying that he wasn't.
we don't need to give this more thought. Paimon thinks there's something off here. That's right! Lenny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had the same clue you used to disprove his...
To think you'd use such luck. Well then, if it wasn't Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able... Could there have been a third person involved? Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He...
That can't be right. Are you serious? The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
Oh, is that so?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. No one entered or left. The sound we heard may have... It would have been tough for both people. Halsey's clothing with... The deceased's name is Cowell. No one entered or left the... It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have... No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So, where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? Lenny was not in the tunnel. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. The deceased's name is Cowl. Halsey's clothing was in the... It would have been tough for both people. No one entered or left.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly
If only we knew.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person...
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you know...
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowl, Lenny's assistant. No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So, where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence. The water.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving all... If there's a similar method...
How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is magic tricks are...
Even so, the truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line... Since Cal was the deceased, but given that we aren't...
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the...
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to... Guards,
we are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You've gotta be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Howell was targeting that girl... Just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
The deceased's name is Cowell. Now it seems like the hook rope was not... The water from the primordial... I remember there was something else...
That actual...
Oh dear, what do I do?
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case. And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
What?
That can't be.
Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt? My dears, Linny did not need, having made modifications that upon, ultimately, he not now, as... Am I right, Mr.
We've used up all the evidence we collected. Is this the end of the...
Oh no! Seems...
I think we've... I believe this is indeed... Now then, my good... excuse me, everyone!
Miss, I'm a...
Oh, come on! I'll show you an amazing... What is...
No offense, miss, but
Come on now, don't be silly. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf. But, as the magic makers and stars of the show...
I understand.
And voila.
Sorry for the...
Wait, isn't that...
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then
That'll teach you to
Where should I begin? Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here, but I was no...
Hey! No wonder you look from... Liddy even mentioned that you were...
Well, and he even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. So I wasn't going to... There was nowhere to run from. I slipped out after the...
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that... Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now.
This time, we need to... Lillian was afraid that she would be The strange sound... The flower vase...
And it's... Having been selected, her panic only intent... Hearing the commotion, he did not know that... Mistakenly, the two broke the... With no way of escape... that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the Opera House these last 2 days!
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light!
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo! Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements? Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What, are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow, look at that! She's like a deflated balloon now!
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Liliane was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Liliane. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Liliane, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent.
Amazing!
While there is much in Linny and this case at least, as such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Victory for Ace Detective Paimon!
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation. How did you find the water from the...
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you...
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in I'm sure you know what you must do.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto...
And now that you're therefore you would...
Yes, our boss discovered that it can also be made... We've been in this...
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of—
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's true, but...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Lenny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end, even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui. I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill. As for why that was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the...
That's right. And since we're here, back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering to survive. I took my sister, to my surprise, before long, and...
So you went from orphans to nobility?
That was how we felt at first, too. But he would constantly...
That doesn't seem to...
After one I waited along. The answer he gave...
Oh no.
As far as outsiders are concerned, I managed to fare... All I saw...
So...
That's right. Father, the House of the Hearth... I was hesitant, but she was all...
Oh... So that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has gained permission.
So...
That's right. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of... Everyone at Hote to us orphans.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like...
It's alright. I just hope you can... If you should need anything at all in the future.
Bye, Lenny!
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappear... Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been... And given that...
I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear... Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant... Wait, shall we...
Huh?
Well, Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of...
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm.
Oh, wonder...
All right, then.
A plate.
is its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems.